Hello, everybody. We are live. Oh, look at, I'm showing you what I'm giving away later today. I gotta hide that. Hold on. Let me know in the comments where you're from. Do you compete in agility? Are you training in agility? Or are you just have an interest in dog agility, but you haven't really started it yet? So one of those three things, let me know in the comments. Now, I will tell you that there's a seminar going on, agility seminar going on in the next room. So you'll have to let me know if it gets a little bit too noisy. Mister, can you go hop it up? And I have Prophet with me, and he really would like to be doing agility. Prophet, thank you. And so Corinna from Finland, Rosie, I can't think of one question that can be answered for me in handling 360 or agility nations. The video, the feedback, the coaching is so confidence building. Happiest thing. Thank you from New Zealand. Okay. So we've got Australia haven't yet started. Upper Michigan, so that's this part, this part. And competed in the past. Agility previously, just starting out with a new puppy. Mississauga. I'm training my 2-year-old in agility. Awesome. Quebec, Canada, hotbed of agility right there. Hotbed of agility. Just started introducing agility 3 weeks ago with my 18-month-old cockapoo. Love it so far. Claudia from Germany competing, NNH 360. Woo, woo, woo. Hello from New York. Just joined recallers. Welcome, Carolina. Sally says, I don't know if I'll ever do agility, but I love learning from you. That's awesome. Thank you. And my glasses kind of look a little dirty. I don't know if it's me and the ever so helpful LOH. I have another question I would like you guys to answer. And I don't want you to be afraid to answer this one. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just looking for your opinion. Okay. So oh wait, I gotta find the question, and I don't have my glasses on. This could be problematic. All right, so I'm gonna take this question out of the way. Can I have my glasses back, please? I'm kind of a little bit blind. Okay, best guess. What makes dog agility a challenge for people to train? What is it that makes dog agility a challenge? It says we're live on Instagram, so I don't know. What best guess? What would you say? I said to start off this live, I'm going to share what I feel the 3 biggest mistakes that are being made when teaching people like you dog agility. And so, what do you think makes it difficult? So, fear of dogs' fears, communication. Consistency, I believe, is probably the number one reason why people don't get the results that they want. But I don't know, that may have part of it to do with training, environment. Oh, Corinna, so good. There's so much to learn for the handler. Absolutely. This is a really, really good answer, Joe. Dog hasn't learned the basics, because just like anything, in anything in our life, foundation is the most important part, right? Think of anything you've ever learned or something that you're really good at that others aren't that so good at. I bet your foundation skills are brilliant. Oh, you guys got some really good answers here. They're going by so fast though. Because people want to do the fancy over the foundation. That is such an excellent answer. Yep, Carla said the same thing. Just everybody's in a hurry. So I think, Sherry, this is a great answer for why is agility difficult for competition, because the handler isn't giving clear information to the dog. Yeah, people want the sexy stuff. Some really, really good answers here. Okay, before we get too far along, I'm going to give away my favorite tug toy from the good people at For My Merles, except it will say handling 360 on it because this is dog agility. But I didn't want to show you this one because it's kind of used. It's very skanky. It will be fluffy and pretty. So this is my favorite tug toy that I use with training with my dogs. So, and it's from the great people at For My Merles. So let's have some hearts for For My Merles. Oh, that's a great answer too, Tanya. And in order to win a tug toy, I'll give it away at the end of this live. I'll give another one away for anybody who shares. We'll do two of these, one now and one. What day is it today? Friday. So we'll come back and do another live on Sunday. Sunday or Monday. I have to check with my team, whatever works best for them. All you have to do is share the live. It's all about dog agility. Anybody with an interest in dog agility, share it. Come on back in the comments and tell us where you shared it so that we can put you in the draw for the new tug toy. Somebody asked, this availability of facilities for indoor training to find and finding higher quality instruction. Brooke, I think this is a really, really good one. And I'm going to share with you how that can be that problem can be eliminated for everybody. Okay. So when you think of, I'm going to put Linda on the spot. What do you think if I was to say what would be the things that people get wrong when they're instructing other people in dog agility? What are the biggest dog training challenges that interfere with people's ability to learn agility and progress rapidly?
Like their ability to take in information?
So no, the teaching, how people are teaching. Bing, that's a good one. So they lump in dog agility. And I'll give you a great example of this. And it's still being done. I use this example of things I saw 20 years ago. And when I talked about this in August on a live, people said, oh, my instructor's still doing it. So two things. I'll give you an example. They let people get on equipment way too early. And have you ever heard the expression, you only get one chance to make a first impression? So the same true with our dogs and dog agility equipment. We don't want them to be introduced to going over a dog walk or an A-frame or a seesaw or a tunnel until we would bet $1,000 that our dogs are going to have an amazing experience and have success and lay down some really good foundational learning for them that will lead them to a great place. But there's a lot of places that will put cookies along a low dog walk and let dogs eat their way across it. And that's of no value. Or one of the schools near Linda, I don't know if they still do this, but and they're not the only ones. There's other schools that they will put a leash on either side, like have two leashes on a dog and kind of escort them across a low dog walk or even a full height dog walk. So that's what's called lumping. There's so many things.
The Cheese Whiz story you gave.
The Cheese Whiz, yeah. So I was in New England a long time ago, but I know this is still being done. And I couldn't figure out why the middle of the plank of the whole dog walk was missing paint. Back then, there was no, textured surfaces on the equipment. It was just painted with sand. And they said, oh, yeah, that's because the dogs lick that area because we put cheese along there. And the dogs just lick their way across and they've licked the paint off. Okay. Let alone it's not a great way of training, but the other problem is what about the dog ingesting all that paint? Side story. So in North America in particular, well, I mean, all over the world, agility is just exploding. It's such a popular thing to do with dogs. Dogs, if it's trained properly, dogs love it. Any healthy dog can learn to have an amazing time doing dog agility. And I think the mistake a lot of people say is I'm teaching or I'm doing it just for fun. And the for fun is like a nail in the joy coffin, right? When you say we're teaching it just for fun, that's a cop out so that you don't have to put any proper foundation. Or my environment where I teach, they just want to do something with their dog. Well, you can teach the exact same skills a world champion like me would teach my dog, and your people would have unbelievable fun. But you'd also be preparing them for if they wanted to do agility seriously. Seriously doesn't exclude fun. Fun and seriously just means you do it correctly, that you can do the same foundation. It doesn't matter. If somebody said, Susan, I don't want to be on a world team, I'm going to teach them. And we have a friend of ours.
Didn't want to be on a world
Yeah,
team.
most people start not wanting to be on the world team, and then lo and behold, they put in the right foundation and they find themselves in a position where they're going to be on a world team. So I would say for me, so that lumping is a big, big thing, and most people do it, and they do it either. The examples I gave are just gross examples, but I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you. These are all examples of lumping. Number one is using lures and props. Would be a way that people lump. So if they want a dog to go to, stop at the end of a seesaw, they'll put a cookie on a lid. Stop at the end of the dog walk, they'll put cookies on the lids. Those are ways that you're lumping, because you're not teaching a dog to find value for driving to the bottom. They need to find joy being at the bottom. And it's just so easy to do. And when you do it properly. So that's using lures or props. And then those lures or props get taken away, and many times the behavior goes too. So, for example, people that use wires on weed poles, and that's fine. A lot of people choose to use what are those called? Guides. They're not wires anymore. I'm dating myself. So it's not. There's different methodologies of training a dog to weave. Guides are one of the things that people do, but when you start adding a cue like weave to a picture of an open channel and guides, it takes a lot longer to get a dog to weave without them. And honestly, my puppy is 16 months old, and I mean, maybe it took him a week, maybe 5 sessions to learn how to weave. So it's not a difficult thing when you teach it without lumping. Lumping is guides and channels. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying there's better ways, in my opinion, to do it. And you can involve other methodology, but you've just got to recognize that you are lumping. And if you add a cue to that, then when the channel gets closed and the guides come off, it's going to be difficult because you haven't taught the behavior of find and entry and weave. So props and lures are probably one of the number one things that people when they're training dog agility, that they don't have a plan of how to exit them in a way that helps the dog understand how to earn reinforcement, how to be successful. I would say the number two thing that people do is that they have way too high expectations of the dog. Therefore, there's too much punishment involved in the training. And when I say too much, I mean any is too much. And what people don't really understand is punishment can't grow learning. Punishment can stop behavior, but it can't grow learning. So even things like, when a dog knocks a bar, you stop and put the bar up. That's punishment. So do I do it? Absolutely. But I don't tell the dog to lie down. I don't yell at the dog. Often I might even just get them to do another behavior like hand touch, throw them a toy, and then put the bar up. It's not reinforcing, because the real reinforcement is getting to do agility, because we build that into the foundation. So I would say teaching with any kind of punishment as a prop, as a way of going. So 20 years ago, if my dog jumped off the A-frame, missed their contact, I would leave the ring. You see a lot of people, taking the dog and leaving the ring and saying, you were wrong, therefore you need a punishment. That's flawed training. You don't need that. And what you're doing is you potentially are driving a wedge between you and your dog. If your dog is not as driven about doing things, you're going to make them less driven. If they already are keen to do it, you're probably going to make them more frantic and get them, guessing more. And you're not going to achieve your goal of wanting the dog to do things correctly. Buddy, I know they're playing, but you have to go hop it up, please. In your bed.
How about the foundations of relationship?
Let me just get to my third point, and then we'll come back to that. So that's a good one too, though. That's a brilliant one. So keep that. Let's go back to that. So there's props and lures. There's the use of punishment. And then there's the way people teach verbals, or the expectations of their dogs in when they get to doing real agility. Without really teaching the purity of a verbal. So I'll give you a little example. I'm going to go stand still, and I'm going to give Prophet a few little cues, and he'll do some things, but you're not going to see a change in me. All right. So he understands what the cues mean. So I'm going to change my camera around right now. My new isn't, I love this new room. It's normally quite peaceful without the people screaming in the background, but okay. So let me see if that is set up. Okay, Fetty, bring me your thing. Thank you. I'm just going to get this out of the way for now. Where's that thing? Where's the thing say? Okay, so I'm going to stand right here, and I'm going to ask him, maybe, yeah, you can back it up a little bit, Linda. You have to back it, move it back. I don't know if you can. You can just lift it off that thing there. Okay, so you know what? I'll move the jump ahead a little bit. Get this. Okay, so I'm going to give him a cue to turn to the left, to turn tight to the left, and a soft turn, like a more of a, not a tight wrap, but a soft wrap. Okay. Mine. Ready? I'll hold his collar so it's exactly the same. Bloop, 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 bloop. So he went nice and tight to the right or to the left. Might be backwards on your screen because of the video. Now it'll be more a softer tick, tick, tick. So little bit out to the, now I just asked him, I might even ask him to do another cue, which is, let's do a backside. Come here, buddy. Mine. Okay. Bam! You see, I'm standing in the same place. Now, I want him to just jump and not look back at me. So extend, jump and extension. Mine. Thank you. Jump! Like, where's he going? Where is he going? Such a good boy, such a good boy. Okay, can you hop it up there? We'll do some more later. Okay, so how do you get a dog that clearly he understands what those words mean? Like when I say jump, but I watched this weekend at the US Open, some of the best dog and handler teams in North America were there. It was inspiring. And many of those elite teams, the highest achieving teams, they can run as fast as their dogs. Leave me a comment if you can run as fast as your dog. I'm going to start. No way is my answer. I can't. No way I can. No way I can run anywhere near as fast as my dog. So leave me a comment if you can run as fast as your dog. So here's a flaw that I see. Nope. Now, a dog like Prophet, like there's no hope of me ever to run as fast as my dog. Some of you didn't even answer, you just laughed at me. So here is my challenge. I run as fast as I can. And my dogs love that I run as fast as I can. Here's the problem with dog agility as I see it. The fastest runners the gifted handlers that I saw on the weekend, like they were winning everything. That they were able to be with their dogs and guide them around. So they said the word jump for pretty much everything. They could be there and turn with their shoulders. They maybe had they didn't have a soft turning cue because they could be there with their body. But those are the people teaching everyone. And it's not repeatable for people like you and I. We can't outrun our dogs. So our dogs are going to be 2, maybe 3 obstacles ahead of us. They need better information than just saying over or jump for anything that has a bar. It's just not something that, in my opinion, now my partners who are also in Handling 360 and Agility Nation, Max Sprinz and Enya Habel. Max is from Germany and Enya is from Sweden. I believe they can come close to outrunning their dogs. I believe that they're that fast. But they too have taken advantage of using discrete cues so that the dog gets the information so early. So if I say jump, I always mean just freaking drive ahead. It's different than if I say tick, tick, which is a soft turn, right? And Max and Enya take advantage of that. So imagine if you could run as fast as your dog and you put in the work, AKA fun, to teach the dog to respond to these verbal cues, how much more clear you would be as a handler. So I believe even the people who are teaching verbals, I mean, we've been doing this in Handling 360 since 2010, I believe. So 14 years. So we have perfected the science of how we teach these cues in a way that the dogs get it, that they get 16-month-old puppy with that kind of clarity of understanding of what I want without you didn't see anything change in me. I just held his collar and gave a word and he said, yep, got that. And look at how close I started. So when they're driving a longer distance, they have the ability to create those lines that they want. So I think those are the 3 biggies. Linda mentioned lumping, the use of props and lures, and adding cues to those. So a lot of times, people would teach things like, I'm going to go back and do another little demo because Mr. is being really good and I would like to reinforce that by letting him do another demo. Oh, yes, he says, yes. Come on, buddy. So I will use my body as well. I will use my body as well to help that dog. But if I am going to send him over to that and I over to the cone. Do you guys see that cone in the background? Come here, buddy. Mine. And then I'll have him turn tight. So I'll send him away. Rap. Right. Yay. So people, if you can be here, it doesn't matter what you say, the dog's going to know you want a tight turn. Likewise, when people want the dog to come around to this side, which I know if you do things like Kennel Club, I don't think they do a lot of inside slices at Kennel Club. So they will teach it by, thank you, mine. They will teach it by having the dog come in here, break, touching their hand and then sending them over the jump. He didn't understand what I was doing because that's not the way we teach things. But then you're stuck waiting here and then helping the dog. Well, I need to be up there for the next obstacle. So if I was doing that, it would look like this. Come here, buddy. Rap. So I can be in a different time zone than he is, and he knows to just keep executing what I asked him to do.
Space for
This is a great type like it. This is an ideal training space for anybody who's training agility at home. All right, so I think it's a little less than 20 feet wide, and it is well, you don't even need this much space, but like in the area that I'm training in right now, it's about 30 feet. Okay, buddy, can you hop it? Okay. He says, thank you for letting me do another demo. So whether people are teaching the inside or they're teaching the dog to go to the backside, one of the big, let's pretend this is my wing. A lot of people, when they're teaching a backside, they stand right at the edge of the wing and say, okay, you have to go around, get back, push, push, push. You don't even know what those words mean. So, but what happens, and I saw this on the weekend, is that the dogs, if you get a little bit away from them, they can't do it. And so there was a lot of off courses because when people were saying push and trying to leave like I did, then the dogs just couldn't be successful. So we want the foundation to include understanding and clarity. Now, what did you say, Linda, about relationships? Because that was a really good point.
Trying to teach anything without any kind of relationship, the working relationship, which you showed you engage the puppy before you tried it.
Right. So a lot of people when they're training agility, their dogs, and let me know if this has ever happened to you. Either the dog gets the zoomies and they leave, or the dog goes and starts sniffing somewhere else, or they go visiting other people. Let me know if that's ever happened, anything or something similar to that. And I'm going to have my 4 p.m. coffee. Please don't judge me. Has that ever happened where you're training and the dog just disengages? And what that is, what happens is that we are overfacing them. Like imagine if what you were training in that environment was go and eat the meatball. Do you think they would disengage? Do you think they'd get the zoomies? No, because it would be clear. So dogs that do it, number one, it could be their confidence in that environment because we're training in an environment with all kinds of things going on rather than an environment here. Number two, it could also be that you haven't put in the foundation to have that trusting relationship during work. I'm not saying your dog doesn't trust you. Sitting at home, snuggling on the couch, I'm sure you have an amazing relationship. But during work, they're unsure. And that's where having a great foundation really comes in handy. And so when people are in Handling 360, if we see that there's a struggle, we say, let's put a pause on Handling 360. We're going to suggest you go back into recallers, do some relationship building, and then you can come back to Handling 360. Now, we don't tell them, but that's our suggestion. But that's what we find works absolutely the best, right? So if your dog disengages, I promise you, a big part of that is they're overfaced. Either the environment you're trying to train in or their understanding of what you're trying to get them to do. There's so much lumping. And so everything comes back to relationship. It doesn't matter. Like I start playing with my dog, tugging, hand touches, whatever it is. I start with relationship. We do a little work. We come back to relationship always. Okay.
And you teach that.
And that we teach all of that in recallers. Okay, I see a lot of comments about the room. Did you guys want to see a tour of the room? Is that what you would like to? If you give me a comment, yes. If you'd just like me to do a little quick run around the room.
Sharon thinks you should do a little tour.
Okay. So that's why. Oh, yes. Okay, tour. Can we get a tour of the house? I'm nowhere near the house. I'm out in the building right now. Okay, so I'll just do a quick little, I'm going to change the camera here. Okay, so I'll take the camera off here. And there's a local artist. If any of you have seen my podcast studio, there's a beautiful painting of Feature and I behind me. The same artist came, local artist that came and did all of the art here. The Zentangling, the doodling, she started it, but she taught me how to do it, and I have done some of it in the room as well. And I'm going to do more of it over the Christmas holidays. So this is, everybody gets a picture. Some of them get more pictures than just one. So this is some of my trophies from World Championships, and there's a room here with a bunch more because I didn't want it to look too overcrowded with trophies, so I didn't put them all up. And our fitness area, we're going to put some sponsors banners up. Let's have some hearts for our sponsors. Our sponsors, I love how our sponsors support. And there's going to be 35 words. 3 of them have been written, just words that I think are empowering for all of us to see on a regular basis that lift our own energy. And I just, words are super important to me. And then I think, and there's LOH. There's Missy Moo, and you can see, if you saw my little short I did, my story, Swagger's still looking at us. The painting of Swagger, I don't know if you can see it. He's still looking at us. You have to trust me on that. Dissy doing fly ball, and Dissy gets 2 as well. And that's the room. So it was put together for obviously fitness and for doing dog training. When we're going to be shooting recolors, it will mostly be shot up here.
Susan, just to go back to the relationship portion, Susanna wants to know, is over-facing the dog the same as an overexcited dog?
That's who asked that? Susanna. That's an excellent question. Is over-facing the same as a dog that's overexcited? A lot of the times the answer is yes, because dogs that are stressed, they take on energy. And some dogs, the burden of that extra energy gets them to withdrawal. So my girl, Vissy, would be that kind of dog. Other dogs that enter extra energy, the stress of them not knowing what you want, the stress of, oh my God, there's so much going on in this new environment. That stress can lift the dog up, which is why I brought Prophet to the US Open last week and ran him in one class, a simple, tunnels and jumps, to see how he dealt with that environment. Did he do this? Did he go frantic and not listen and get too crazy? And I'm thrilled that he just stayed nice and level. And so how do we get a dog to stay at a nice, healthy energy level? We don't put them in those environments until we've done all the training of the skills in an area that they can be confident. And that's why I can't recommend enough that you are in our online programs, because you are teaching all of the skills in an environment. You don't need a big area. At 20 by 20, you can get a lot of stuff done in 20 by 20. And so we're growing confidence. And this is exactly what I've done with Prophet, right? Most of the training is done at home, and then I'll go out to a new environment and do a little testing of his best skills. I'm not going to a new environment and trying something new where he might lose his confidence and be worried. His best skills somewhere else, and then we come back home, we build up, and so we got new best skills. Go somewhere else, try out those best skills. Okay. And so dogs that get frantic, knock bars, blither through the bars, people say, he's doing his own thing, he's blowing me off, he's on his own agenda, he knows what he wants. He's a dog who's expressing pent up stress, and he needs some understanding and compassion. And you, as the owner, also need that compassion, because there's a little bit of embarrassment that happens when that happens, right? When your dog gets a zoomy, leaves the ring, goes to visit, starts sniffing, poops on the A-frame. All of these are signs that that dog needs more understanding and compassion for where they are at in their knowledge. And you too need to give yourself grace. So don't let anybody say that's the dog blowing you off. It is 100% never the case.
Cynthia asks Susan, what happens if every new environment the dog has a challenge?
So if every new environment the dog has a challenge, then I would question, how well does the dog knows the skills you're asking them? How well does the dog know the skills that you're asking? So Cynthia, are we talking about agility or just life? Because if it's agility, then one of the things, like the things that we've already mentioned, that there was too much lumping, that there wasn't enough relationship building, that maybe there were props involved, like plates with cookies. A lot of times when people are getting the dogs to jump long, like Prophet, when I said jump, he went like, he just kept going. People will get that by putting a toy out there or putting a cookie out there for the dog to drive to. That's not the way we train it. That's not the way we train it. And so we use food and toys as reinforcement. But to get that, we have to start in a much smaller place. And a lot of people don't have the patience to do that, or they don't have the understanding of how to get there. And, I've been doing this for 35 years as a professional. And all of those trophies on the wall have been earned over the last 35 years. And I'm constantly tweaking and evaluating the science of what we do and how we can make it easier for every dog to be successful. And I believe it starts by the environments that you're setting up at home. Think about this. Like somebody said it early on, how much there is for us to learn in dog agility. A ton. Write in the comments how long a drive it is for you to go to your training class. Well, I have a sip of my coffee. How long a drive? So put that in the comments. Just let me know. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell everybody they have to quit their agility classes. How long a drive? 35 minutes, Sherry said. 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 50 minutes, 30 minutes. Wow, Linda, 90 minutes? Well, we have people that come here that come 90 minutes. I mean, you're 75 minutes at least, aren't you, or 80? Tristan, it's a 1-second drive. I log into Handling 360.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Okay, so if you consider, let's say, I think the average was around 30 minutes. Now, you don't get there and then sprint into the ring, do you? So let's say you give yourself 15 minutes to warm your dog up outside, talk to other people, and then you got your class and your 30-minute drive home. Now, in that class, you're not working for an hour, you're watching. So probably 2 hours that you are spending, maybe 3 hours. If it's a 30-minute drive, an hour class, 30 minutes, how much training did you get in that 2 to 3 hour period? How much training? Maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And so there is so much to learn, which is why I can't believe people aren't staying home, doing Handling 360. And when you get a skill level to a place where you're just doing what I'm doing with Prophet, I'm going to test a little bit. That's when you can do a drop-in class. They'll get to a point where, yes, you want to run a course. You can't do it in your backyard because your backyard's, smaller than this area. But the foundation should be done in your home. Build up that confidence in a way that you're bringing clarity and joy to your dog, right? That's what we want, because then you are going to be a success. I can't tell you the number of people that I watched, some of them winning classes at the US Open. Two of them have won medals at the Worlds from the United States that have come through Handling 360. So there's several in Europe that have been in our program that have won medals, but the vast majority are people that just want to have fun with their dogs, But having fun means you're watching your dog from a place of joy. The dog is joyful. Why? Because of the clarity, because we're not overwhelming them. And that's why, like, this is the time that you should be joining Handling 360. And I'm just going to put this up here right now. Our registration, it's our cyber event. And guess what? People are going to look at that and they're going to go to their page and they're going to, wow, like that is a huge investment. It is not a huge investment considering what are the resources that we're talking about when we're training our dog in agility. There's your time, there's the finances, there's the resource of your dog's lifetime, the number of years you have to share doing agility. So your time, I just shared with you, doing Handling 360 will maximize your training time immensely. The time or the investment of, yeah, maybe you can get a class for $10 or $20, but is that a wise investment over a year when you could be at a place where you're absolutely getting understanding from your dog, when you're doing it in your home with elite world champion dog trainers laying out the training plans for you?
That's big on mine, is quality.
Yes, and there's so many people teaching dog agility. I love to tell the story. My sister, who at the time lived in the Atlanta area, she said, "Oh, we signed up for an agility class and they don't know who you are." And I said, "You've got to get out of that class." And she said, "Oh, you think you're all that in a bag of chips." And I said, "It's not that they have to be a fan of who I am, but if they don't know who I am, then they don't know enough about dog agility." Because people who are curious to learn how to teach their students the best they can, they for sure have heard of Susan Garrett. And so there's so many people teaching dog agility. The resource of your dog's lifetime gets wasted when you start spending time with people who don't have a clue how to maximize the learning and maximize the joy for the dog. So it's crazy. JC said, "I heard about you 25 years ago." Sherry said, my instructors quote you. So if you think of, and I'm not telling you, I'm saying that people with local classes are valuable, but use them to show off your skills. I did this in Handling 360. You will be surprised how many people will say, "Where did you learn that? Where did you learn that?" Mary said, "You are all that and 2 bags of chips." Thanks, Mary. Tell my sister. My local rural pet store owner knows who Susan is. That's funny. Okay, so we have questions. Where did the questions come that the ones that, yeah. Okay. Is 3 years old too old to start dog agility? Absolutely not. No. I'm assuming we're talking about your dog, Wendy, because if you're 3 years old, I want to applaud your use of technology to be able to be on this live. But 3 years old is a great age to start. I mean, I can't say there's a wrong age. There is a wrong, if your dog is unhealthy, if your dog is in pain, those are the only limitations to starting dog agility. You could have a 10-year-old dog, and as long as they are loving life and they're not in pain and they're fit, they could have a great time doing dog agility. Jeannie says, "I'd love to join H360, but it's winter here. Is there enough for me to do till spring?" Oh my gosh, girl, we have got you. We have got you. The levels of the layers of the foundation that I want you to do in your living room or in a small training area, there's just so much, absolutely so much for you to do before you get to the place where we are actually putting 2 obstacles together. Kathy says, "My dog sometimes runs lovely and sometimes sniff." I think we talked about that, Kathy, and that could be environment. It could be a lack of understanding of what it is that we want, the dog wants, or we want from the dog. And that comes from how the layers were trained, how the layers were put in place. And if we do it right, then the dog, I'm not going to say our dogs won't make mistakes, but they're never going to make a mistake and fall to pieces and leave because they have so much confidence in what we're doing as a team together. Okay. How do I say that name?
It's from YouTube.
Okay.
She's in South Africa.
Oh, from South Africa. Currency, I'm in recallers. Does Handling 360 and Agility Nation have much overlap? So there isn't, there's some games that overlap, but very few. We teach It's Your Choice, and we teach some of the critical core in pretty much all of our programs, but no. Handling
I'll just add that the recallers games in H360 and Agility Nation are complementary to the agility portion of your career.
Right.
Not so much the relationship.
So the way that we present them are ways that build on agility skills rather than relationship building, for sure. This is, I got to tell you, I wish I had a graphic to show you. So our regular price of Handling 360, I think, is $1,800 for the year. And our regular price of Agility Nation is $125 a month, which, do the math, that's $1,500 a year. So those two together, if you bought them from our website on Tuesday, it would be $3,200. And you can get the bundle for $1,500 right now. So like that is ridiculous. Next question. Will I learn directionals in Handling 360? 100%. You're going to learn everything and more that I've already showed you. Candice, how young can we start weaves? What course would help me learn? So I don't like to start weave training until my dog's well over a year old. So Prophet, I started at 14 months and I really haven't done much. He's 16 months. He knows how to weave, but I bet it's been close to a month since he's done weaves. And, I will get more consistent with it, but he is a young dog and there's a lot to learn, and I don't want to do too many weaving when they're still young. So I would say, depending on the breed, definitely a year. And if it's a larger dog, I would maybe, like a Newfoundland, an Irish Wolfhound, I would wait till they're 2. Riverstone, my dog has so much energy. Would agility help? If your dog has energy and a focused relationship with you, agility is amazing. If you don't quite have that focused relationship, I would recommend recallers first. Jennifer and Jody, do you recommend doing recallers before Handling 360? And that is a depends answer. So if you go to this page, dogsat.com/cyber, in the bottom right-hand corner is a live chat support button, and we can help you answer that question for yourself. Actually, there's a video on the bottom of the page where I walk you through which is the best program. So you can watch that video first, but it really depends on, you might have a lot of great foundations on your dog already, so you could jump right into Handling 360. And the really cool thing is we have that dog training guarantee. That is, if you jump into Handling 360 and you say, wow, my dog, we don't have a great enough relationship, you just let us know. We put a pause on your membership and get you into recallers before you come back. In Handling 360, do I have to submit videos? I'm tech weak and editing. Ugh. So Linda, I promise you, your best outcomes will become when you become comfortable videoing your training. So I video all of my training and you can review them. You do not have to submit videos, but I promise you, you will get the best results when you review those videos and compare them to what you see on the video that we're training. So most people don't submit videos, but they will get it right before they move on. A lot of people feel more comfortable submitting videos, and the really neat thing is we are training your mechanics. So we would love to see you. If you have more than one dog, we're one of the only online programs out there that you can train 2 dogs with us at the same time, and we're not going to charge you double. because we want you to excel as a dog trainer and an agility handler. So we are focusing on you. And if you have a puppy and an older dog and you do it both, you can do Handling 360 with both of them, right? We are going to focus on you and your mechanics. And so we would love for you to be in a place where, you know, if you've got a phone, it's pretty easy to edit videos on a phone now.
The team has built an ebook on how to do all of that.
And the team has an ebook all printed out for you to know how to do that. Kayla says, do I have to pay the total or can I do? No, we have installments for all of our programs. We also have, again, one of the unique programs. We take a ton of pride in the community of our program, the fraternity of Handling 360. We have people who've been in it for 14 years. They've just never left. And so we want to make sure that we're a right fit. So we give everybody the opportunity to join our programs and try it out for a week or so and decide if you can see yourself carrying on. And if you say, for whatever reason, that I just can't take this quality of an education, so I have to back out, we'll give you a refund. We'll give you 100. So every one of our programs has a limited a refund, which is it is limited by time, but you get 100% of your investment back. How user-friendly are the website for hearing impaired? So all of our websites have an accessibility button in the bottom. I can't say all of our classrooms because I don't think WAG Nation does. But for sure, Handling 360 has an accessibility button, which means if you need bigger print, if you need monotone colors, if you need the volumes automatically turned up, like everything is done for whatever ability or challenge that our users have. My team is amazing, and they have put together this little button. It's really easy. It looks like a little working man in the bottom left hand of all of our programs. Do all classrooms have it? And yes, there's PDFs in all in Handling 360 and Agility Nation for every single thing that we have there. Okay. Any other questions for me? Are they auto-generated subtitles? That's a question my team will give me an answer to because I don't do subtitles. And if they don't get back to me, you can just go to the bottom right corner and ask for in the live chat. Is there a time limit? Meaning, do you need to pay again next year to stay on it? So it is a year of coaching. Handling 360 is a year of coaching. Agility Nation, you can go month to month, but we recommend you do it a year because it's $125 for a month, or it's $890 for the whole year. And so at the end of the year, you've paid for a membership for a year, then we have a ridiculously attractive opportunity for you to stay longer, and it's not the same investment. So, but it is because it's like going to a university class. Just because I graduated, and I'm not saying when I went to university, I didn't pay for 1 year and then could get my degree and keep going back with. They kept wanting tuition. Right. Okay, I am going to give away a toy right now. My favorite tug toy with a little raspberry on the end. And it's going to Tanya Hack, H-A-A-C. Congratulations, you are the winner. My favorite toy from the good folks at For My Merles. Also, if anything I said resonated with you, we have a post on our main Facebook page that's called Gem Share. I love reading these. I would love for you to share your gems there. And do we have the gem from yesterday? So, well, maybe she could send it back over. Put it in Slack, Lisa, and I'll catch it. So what the gem share is, it's a way for you to remind yourself of what you learned here today. If there was any big aha moments, any gems, oh, I get that, then write it over on the Facebook page, and we're going to give away, you know what I'm going to give away? A Propel. Yes, we're going to give away Propel. And I'm going to show you what a Propel is right now. So, and I'll show you how I might use a Propel. Okay, boom. Let's go, little one. Get your thing. Bring me that thing. So tell me, this is probably one of my favorite pieces of fitness equipment. It's definitely in my top 5 from the great people at Blue 9. Okay, can I have a thing? A thing, bing, 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 bing. Strike. Mine strike. Mine bump. Yeah, strike. Mine. Okay, so he's going to put his feet up there. I might get him to sit. Up, up. Good. Bump. Good. Can you stand? Nice. And step. Good. 2 on, 2 off. Oh, 3 on, 2 off. Step. Good. Step. Good. That's got it. That's a good one. That's a good one. Get your bum off of there. Good. Cook. Right. Step. Step. Good boy. That's a good one. That's a good one. And bring me. So I use the Propels as targets. Mine. Bump. Back. I don't want to be in the way of the camera. Back. Good. So he knows. He knows that I want him to back up to that target. I can also get him to go back further. Back. Nice. And then we can go back feet on, back, front feet on, back feet on, strike. There you go. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, so we're giving away one of those Propels. And I'm just going to read Catherine. Catherine Yoho, you won the Propel from our last live. And Catherine's gem was, this live stream was wonderful, even though I had to watch it post live. So you don't have to be here to win the gem. Some extra meaningful takeaways were that if my dog is not doing what I'm asking, I need to return to my plan and see what I'm doing or not doing. How can I increase clarity to help my dog? She isn't wrong, but is responding to the reinforcement I've given, not necessarily what I intended to reinforce. As with virtually everything in this world, it comes down to communication. We're the ones messing up. They're responding to what we've communicated. Recallers has not only changed my life with my dogs, but also myself. Much of what I'm learning, I can apply in my personal life. So it's a win-win. So thank you and congratulations, Catherine. And so if you would leave your gems on our Facebook page, we will give, and so if you're watching on YouTube, when this live is completed, go back on the video and leave your gem here, because here's what YouTube does. All of the comments, and there's been some lovely comments from YouTube in the thread here, they disappear. They disappear at the end. So you have to come back and leave your gem on YouTube. We'll check both YouTube and for those of you who don't have Facebook, all right? So you can jump over to YouTube. And if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to go train my puppy. So thank you, LOH. Thanks to the team. And leave your gems.